So now we're going to talk about finding factors. Now we're going to revisit some notes. You may have seen this video before, and we're talking about the multiplication vocabulary. So here you can see that we talk about our factors, which are the number 3 and the number 2 in our multiplication equation. That's what we're going to focus on today. So we always have 2 factors in a multiplication equation. Now, a question you might see is, what are the factors of 12? So, what we have to think about are the important word, I should say, is that word factors. What are the factors of 12? So what we want to look at is, and this is kind of the strategy for finding factors, we want to think about what number times what number can give you 12. Now here's where your multiplication facts are really going to become important for you to know. So the more that you can work on those multiplication facts and get familiar with them and memorize them even, the better. Now, we always know that we can multiply 1 times whatever our answer is, our product, our multiple. In this case, it's 12. So we can multiply 1 times 12, and we know that that equals 12. So 1 is a factor, and 12 is a factor. So here we have 2 factors of 12. 2 factors of 12. But the question is, are there more? Are there more? Well, let's use our strategy again. What times what equals 12? Well, what are 2 other factors that you can think of that you could multiply together, 2 numbers you can multiply together that would equal 12? Well, 12 is an even number because its last digit in the ones place is a 2. So therefore, I know I can multiply 2 times another number and it will equal 12. Well, I know 2 times 6 is 12. So now I have 2 more factors of 12. So there's another 2 factors of 12. So far, I have 2 here, 1 and 12, and I have 2 factors in this equation, 2 and 6. So altogether right now I have 4 factors for 12. But I feel confident that there's one more pair of factors for 12. So I'm going to say, well, what times what equals 12? Well, I'm just really good at my 3's, and I know that 3 times 4 equals 12. 3 times 4 equals 12. So now I know, well, there are 2 factors of 12 right here, the 3 and the 4. That gives me another 2 factors. So all together, I have 6 factors for the number 12. Now I'm going to list them. So what I like to do is I like to list them from the smallest factor to the greatest factor. So I'm going to look and I see that my smallest factor is the number 1. So I'm going to list that first. There's 1, and then I'm going to put a comma. Well, if I look down through, the 2 in 2 times 6 is going to be the next smallest number. So I'm going to put 2 next in my list and then comma. Now if I look down through my equations, I see 3 is going to come next in order. So there's the 3. Then I also see 4. It's going to come right after 3, so I'll list 4. Now, if I start working my way back up my page, I can see, 6 is going to come next because 6 is bigger than 4 but smaller than 12. So I'm going to list 6. And then finally, I'm going to list my last factor, 12. Now, sometimes you will hear people refer to a factor rainbow. And I will show you that here's how the factor rainbow works. You're just going to connect the factors that you multiply together to get whatever number you're looking for, in this case 12. You're going to connect those to show that these are the ones that are multiplied together. So here I'm going to connect in my list up here at the top, I'm going to connect my 3 and 4 because I multiplied those 2 factors together to get to 12. Then I'm going to switch over and I'm going to connect my 2 and my 6. Actually, let me darken that up just a little bit so that you can see it. So now I'm going to connect my 2 and my 6. And you can see that rainbow forming. So I know that I multiply 2 times 6, and that equals 12. And then finally, you're going to make the biggest part of your rainbow. You're going to connect the 1 and the 12 together. And you know that 1 times 12 equals 12. So that's I'll write that out for you. This is the factor rainbow. That's our factor rainbow. But now you can see a strategy that you can use to find the factors of a number.